tried to talk to her. It went sideways real quick.
A guy would say, oh, I went to the next woman because you weren't doing what you were supposed to do at home. Okay, well, I went online because you're not doing what you're supposed to do.
But when you burn chicken Alfredo, she has to learn how to cook.
Rise and shine, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Truth Factory. Today we have a very special guest with us, Dre. Dre and his lovely wife, Keisha, has a video that's been going crazy viral. All right, they were arguing about everything from throwing his birthday cake in the trash, his favorite cake now, throwing that in the trash, all the way to her bad mouthing his mother and his son. Dre, thank you for coming in today, man. Obviously, this is a touchy situation. And I just want to talk to you about that, man. You doing all right?
Yes, I'm doing great. I'm doing good.
Good.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Before we get started on it, man, I want to play the video that you uploaded. You could tell it was a lot going on. I imagine you guys argue all the time, but I want the guests to kind of see this video, okay? So let's take a look at it.
Yo, I just came home from work, and there's some things that irritate the dog shit out of me, you know? Like I said, I just came home from work, a long-ass drive, 2.5 hours to be exact. My birthday, right? It's my birthday. My co-worker fixed me a nice cake, lemon cake, my favorite. And I come home, and my cake is in the trash. You see that? It's in the trash.
Talking about that cake? Yes. In the trash.
And this is why I gotta go live. Why is my cake in the trash?
What you mean? You brought another woman's cake into this house? Really?
My co-worker, and she's an older woman. What they gotta do with you?
I don't care. I don't care who it was. Another woman's cake. Really?
Babe, look, why are you so fucking destructive?
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not destructive. You said that my sister's chicken Alfredo was the best you ever had. How dare you say another woman's food is better than mine? So I can't cook now?
No, you can't. Your Alfredo is trash.
Yeah, just like your cake is in the trash.
Okay, look, your sister cooked some good Alfredo. Learn how to cook or bake a cake.
Why didn't you just get your mama to make it? You always get her to make anything else.
Wow.
Everything else your mother makes it.
Wow.
I would have rather you went to the store.
Look, I can't even talk to my moms no more because of you and that podcast. Stop lying. Why you talking about my son's felonies, my mom's hospital transactions on your podcast?
I'm telling the truth.
No,
Facts,
that's none of your
baby.
business.
Facts.
Why are you doing everything for a fucking like?
Really?
Why?
Look
Why?
at this. Really?
Look. Stay off the podcast talking about my family business.
And
you
keep
understand
another
that?
woman's cake out my
Learn how
house.
to cook. That's what we got to cut you for. What's wrong with you? God damn.
That little ass stove.
Hey, look, that's this. Y'all see what the hell I deal. Y'all see what the hell I'm dealing with, right? Look at that. Look at it.
Look at this.
Look at it. Look.
Look at this. He can't do
Do
nothing
anything say?
anyways.
Do anything say? Housewife right there? No. This what the fuck I gotta go live for. Let y'all know what the hell I'm going through with this.
what?
We ain't got too long. We ain't got too long. Bye. I'll see y'all. Y'all got the evidence.
So that's what life looks like in the Dre and Keisha home, huh?
Yes.
Okay, man, I want you to start off by telling us about it. If you don't mind, start us off with the two issues that you went live with, okay? That's the chicken Alfredo and the infamous cake in the garbage, man. Talk to me.
So it was my birthday, and at my job, we celebrate each other's birthdays.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody buys something for that one person or birthday cash, something. So my coworker, Clarice,
Mm-hmm.
which is a elder lady, she's close to retirement. She bakes me a lemon cake, which, as you said, is my favorite. It's my weakness, and she knew I really wanted one. My wife she's not a baker. She's not a cooker. So Clarice brings me one to the house. I mean, to work. And, you know, I take it to the house. I don't know Keisha's issue, possessive, jealous, whatever you want to call it. She sees the cake. It's not from her, obviously, so she's automatically ooh, it's another woman doing something for you, and she throws my cake in the trash.
Now wait a second. She didn't talk to you about the cake first. She just
Nope.
You just find your cake in the trash.
I walk in, icing, everything all around the trash, and the cookie sheet, the cake plate in the trash too. Everything, everything's in the trash.
So you see this cake sitting in the trash,
Right.
and you're thinking, what are you thinking? Because I know right after that you go live, you turn the camera on.
Yes, I went straight to live after that because I don't know how to vent. I don't know who to vent to. You know, and moving forward, like I can't talk to my moms about it no more. You know, because of our situation.
Wow.
You know, and she burned a lot of bridges. You know, basically for my family, she burned a lot of bridges. So that's what's going on right now.
Wow. So what I saw in that video, right, was you saying I got to do this because nobody's gonna believe me.
Right.
So what I take from that is potentially maybe you have talked to somebody and they didn't believe that she could be that toxic, or maybe you didn't think that, man, if I go live and tell the world about this.
Well, you know, I've been with Keisha for a little minute. So people who I have vented to, which basically my mom's, she was directly in the middle of, you know, of us, you know, my mother-in-law. And that's who I mainly communicated with about a situation. But I can't even do that no more.
Wow. So due to the things that she's been saying about your mother, I imagine your mother's gotten so upset with you over it that you guys are not speaking now.
I ain't gonna say she upset with me, but she just took herself out the situation. She just don't want to be bothered by either. She don't want to hear it or be bothered by it at all.
Oh, so she still does it. She still does the podcast thing.
Yeah, that's her thing. That's her main focus point, and it's nowadays everything's for a like. So I don't like. She's just invading my family privacy, and I really don't. It's disrespectful to me.
Wow. All right, so look, before we really tap into the situation with your mom, and of course she's been saying some things about your son, I saw in your video.
Yes.
Can you talk to me about the chicken Alfredo situation? She's saying that you told her sister that it was the best you ever had. Talk to me, man. What's going on with that?
All right, so we usually have our little gatherings, you know, with our sister, so our kids could play around with each other. We play cards, anything like that. And our sister ended up cooking some chicken Alfredo. As I mentioned before, my wife doesn't cook. Does she know how? I don't think so. She doesn't attempt to. Her sister cooked chicken Alfredo, and I'm not about to lie, it was some very delicious chicken Alfredo.
I mean, but Dre, the best you ever had.
I'm not gonna lie. My wife don't cook, so how I can't give her compliments on anything. So yes, it was the best I had. Yes.
So do you think that's in good taste with her being within earshot of you saying that?
That's really not my problem.
So you don't believe in sugarcoating at all. You want her to.
If she wants a bologna sandwich and I don't put mustard on it, and she gonna come back, I give it to her, she gonna ask me, "Where's my mustard?" I gotta go get the mustard. You know, you know what I'm saying? So why I'm gonna do what I need to do.
Well, let me ask you, is that typically how you are, just shooting it straight, or is that kind of where you guys have became because you argue so much? So here's my take on the video. When I saw you tell her, make better chicken Alfredo, and I'll tell you that it's good, right? I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. Typically, a man will filter what he says to his wife, right? But if they argue all the time and she's not soft with him, she doesn't filter her words with him, he's gonna shoot straight with her. And I kind of looked at it and said, they must have argued so much that he's just not as willing to filter his words anymore. And potentially even said that on purpose because he wants to challenge her to get better in the kitchen. It's just in my mind, I saw that. I wanted to ask you that personally.
Yes, we we throw punches, word-wise. We throw punches.
Glad you cleared that up.
Yes. We throw punches. It has gradually increased from when we first got together, and it's like I said, it's very intoxicating for her. And I'm embarrassed to talk about it, really. I really am.
Well, you had told me some things over the phone, okay? You said you was in the military.
Yes. Air Force, yes.
So she spoke about you online, and she told the public about a head injury that you got jumping from a plane. How did that make you feel? And what was your conversation with her after seeing that?
I felt violated because, like I said, once again, there's no communication when it comes to her podcast. Is that she's straightforward and just she bluntly puts it out there and doesn't tell us or me about it at all. How did I feel? Like I said, I violated, and after I found out about it, I tried to talk to her, have a grown face-to-face conversation, and it went sideways real quick. I don't know how she felt like she was offended of why she's offended about it, but I'm the one that got disrespected about you telling my business. And of course, the argument, we got into the argument, it got volatile, word wise again, and it was I didn't get there was no conclusion after that, nothing.
Wow. So apparently her actions have embarrassed your family, has embarrassed your mother, your son, your siblings, your brother and your brothers and your sister. Wow. I want to ask, how has it impacted your family? And have you sought out ways of trying to recover your family? And also, have you spoken to her about this podcast? And does she plan on stopping? What did she say to you about it?
This situation, it highly impacted my family. Me and my mom, my mother, we do not talk.
Wow.
As we used to. Like I said, it's embarrassing. She felt disrespected by putting our business out there. Me and my son, we still close, but he distancing himself.
I imagine he was very embarrassed by her knowing.
He putting his business out there too. The communication is, like I said, she burning a lot of bridges, and I'm the one really getting the impact of it. And like I said, I try to talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing, no results after that. There's really nothing. She's this social media thing and podcast. She's so deep into it. I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. So
Wow.
as I reach out to you,
Yes, sir.
Reach back out to me about getting some help. Counseling doesn't even do it.
So anyway, I totally understand the embarrassment that she's bringing to your family, to your son, actually. You sent me a couple of clips, okay? You showed me a clip where she's talking about your son and saying that he got 2 felonies, 2 misdemeanors, and she even says it had something to do with a girl and didn't even say what it was. She just says it has something to do with a girl.
Yeah, she just throws things out there. No communication with me about anything I have going on, or me or my family have going on. No communication, and it's like I said, it's burning bridges. My family come to me talking about it, and I go to her and talk about this, but it's no result after that. She continues. It's like that's her focal point. That's what she gonna talk about. Whatever issue in my family, not her family, my family, she talks about every issue. And it's embarrassing, disrespectful.
Wow. Okay, so I'll ask you this, and we don't have to go all the way into it because I definitely would like to ask her this question as well. But you told me that she grew up in foster care. Do you think that potentially her growing up in foster homes is why she doesn't understand the dynamics in family? Why she may be disrespecting your family? Your family's reputation is at, it is at the expense of her show. And she's not thinking about the damage that she's doing to the family.
I truly believe it had to do with that. She don't know about family morals, family structure, the respect of family. I truly believe that's a reason. No mom, no dad to show her, guide her, tell her what's right or wrong. Maybe. So she's strictly going off. Oh, she gonna do what she want to do, and that's not how you do a marriage and run a relationship. So, and I love her. I love her, and I'm trying to compromise with her until this podcast. Yeah, this podcast has been the focal point in the downing of our relationship. Before we was good. Everything was on was communicating right, everything. And until she decided to do a podcast, that's where everything started to go down.
So, do you think that her talking about your family the way she does, knowing it's a problem because your mother has voiced her concerns, your sister has, you've had a family meeting over this, and she still continues to do it. Have you ever considered that maybe she could be doing this to drive your family apart?
No. Like I said, she's doing everything for the social media, and she sees money out of it.
Okay.
So when that's going on, is nothing else matters to her. It's, I'm getting a check. You should be happy I'm getting a check. But it's disrespectful to my family. I don't think that's what she's not realized. It's just disrespectful. Let's talk about your family and see how it feels. Let's see how it goes.
And reputation obviously matters, but she's putting the money above you guys. Right. She doesn't talk about herself in this way. She talks about you guys in this way.
Right. It's just my family. Like we got some heavy issues. Like her family or foster parents don't have issues also. Mm-hmm. How about talk about your upcoming of your childhood? Let's see how that goes. But it's all about my family.
Now, I got to ask you this because you stated that she talks about other people's families too, right?
Yeah.
That she could be a problem for the Black community as you have it, because she's talking about other people's families and diving into their relationships, gossiping and things of that nature. What do you say to her when it comes to that? Do you also mind her talking about other people's families, or are you just saying, don't talk about mine, do your thing, but don't talk about my family?
I'm with her for the podcast, but exactly like you said, do not bring my family up. My family, our business is not their business outside. Let's keep it in our circle. Let's keep it here. You can talk about neighbors downstairs. You can talk about the neighbors up the street. Talk about them. Yeah, of course. I'm all for that.
All right. So now you're saying that you don't mind her doing that to other people's families, but have you considered that their families might be humiliated by the things that she says about them?
I just don't want it to be my family be the focal point of her podcast. I look at a podcast as world news, and if she sees something that she wants to talk about, she can talk about it, but not leave our family privacy alone. Just let us be. But yeah, she can talk about anything else she wants.
Okay. My last question before we bring Keisha out and I talk with her for a little while. What steps have you taken, like maybe even with a counselor? I know you said you're almost at the place where you don't know what to do, but about resolving at least your family's relationship, your relationship with your family and all. I'm certainly going to talk to her about what we can do to rectify the situation, but what about them and their healing? You guys getting back to where you were?
So I believe me and my family will have to go through some counseling. We might have to do a family and Keisha gonna have to be there. We have to do a whole powwow and try to resolve this as much as possible. Hopefully everything goes as smooth. I feel personally that it's gonna be a big argument, and when a big argument comes between significant other and family, it's nothing comes good after that.
Absolutely.
So I'm really hoping that it goes smooth. I really hope so.
Okay, well, I think an intervention type thing would definitely work. But you did say before you ended that video that you're to the point to where you're thinking about ending all of this. Is that still the case?
If we get some good professional help, I'm willing to stay.
Okay.
But if not, I have to end this. I love my family and I love myself and my privacy. So yes, I would like to be resolved.
Okay, so listen, they say there's 3 sides to a story: his side, her side, then the truth, right?
Right.
So what I want to do is I want to bring Keisha out here, ask her some of these difficult questions and hear her side to it. I want to know how she was feeling when she threw that cake in the trash. I want to know how she was feeling when she did some of the things that she has done in the arguments that you've had, okay? Right. So, hey guys, when we come back, we're going to have Keisha and Dre sitting with us. I'll see you guys soon. Welcome back to the Truth Factory. Family, as promised, we have Dre and we have Keisha. Welcome onto the show, Keisha, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and discuss this openly, because obviously we don't have any communication in our home.
Wow. So it is a pleasure, first off. Dre and I would like to just talk with you about some of the experiences you guys have been having, the arguments you've been having. I personally want to know what you were feeling when you threw that cake in the trash. So I want to start with that experience right there. Can you tell me about it and how it made you feel?
Of course. Well, it was Dre's birthday, and he brought a cake home
Mm.
from one of his so-called co-workers. But I mean, it was really hurtful. You bringing another woman's food into our home. I could see if it was your mother's or your sister's or someone in my family, but no, a coworker.
Hmm.
That was hurtful. How was I supposed to feel?
Okay. I can understand the feelings. I definitely can. But Dre did say that she was an older lady. Do you mind me asking how old this lady was?
Like 65, 66, somewhere around. She close to retirement.
65, 66. That didn't make you feel any better? That didn't ease the pain? She's an older lady.
First of all, he's just telling you that. How did we know that she was 60?
So you don't trust him?
I mean, I trust him. I know he's a good man. He's a provider, but at the same time, like, how would you feel if your mate brings in another, person's food? Like, I cook for him. Is my food not good enough?
Well, now that's the thing. A lot of people agree with your emotions in that. They don't disagree with the emotions at all. In fact, I think overwhelmingly, most women said they wouldn't have liked that. They wouldn't have wanted their man to come home with a cake from someone else either. The problem was how you handled it. You didn't talk to him about it. He just comes back to find the cake face down in the trash. Next time he sees you, you're licking your fingers saying it wasn't that good to begin with. Do you see the difference there? One is you feeling something. The other one is the action that you did. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about. Absolutely, it offended you. Absolutely, it may have even hurt. But you're moving out of passion and not logic. And what you should do is go and talk to him whenever you have an issue and concern and try and work through it with him. If he comes back and just finds a cake in the trash, that's not going to be the best conversation. Does that make sense?
I understand your perspective.
Now, again, most people agree with how you felt. You weren't wrong for how you felt. I would just say how you went about it wasn't the most productive. Okay? Now, it seems that we keep having issues surrounding food because you brought up something there. You brought up that he told your sister that she had the best chicken Alfredo that he's ever had. Can you tell us how that made you feel?
The audacity to tell me someone else's food is better than mine or the best he's ever had. I mean, it's not really like he has many choices other than his mother that always cooks for him and his co-worker now all of a sudden bringing him food. How was I supposed to feel?
You don't know how to cook. What you want me to say?
Well, how about you cook sometime?
I'm sorry.
So I did talk to him about this, okay? Using encouraging words with your wife would go a long way. Would you like to hear that that your food is good? Would you like for him to compliment your food even when he doesn't really like it? Or would you prefer honesty so you could make it more to his liking?
Well, I would prefer open communication and understanding that I do have feelings, and you bringing up another woman and their food, that hurts my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't expect you to lie to me, but I want you to tell me the truth, and maybe we can work on it together. How about you help me?
Okay. Well, Dre, one of the things that Keisha told me over the phone was you invalidate her, so to speak, by saying it was just a compliment, when in fact you told her it was the best chicken Alfredo you ever had. So can you see the difference between a normal compliment and saying this is the best ever? And try and consider what it would make your wife feel, because she is the nurturer of your home. She's cooking for you daily. Try and make sure you have the substance in your body. And if you're not telling her that you're happy with it, she will feel unvalued. Like, say you go to work, right? You come home with your money and she tells you it ain't enough. I didn't sign up for this, right? You would feel invalidated because you busting your tail every day, right? And she's not telling you that you're doing a good job in the home. Now, likewise, she's probably preparing this food with the thought in mind that you'll like this, right? At least this time you'll like it. And she could be actually really trying. And then when you taste it, your honesty is hurting her feelings. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, that makes plenty of sense. But when you burn chicken Alfredo,
So it's not that the sisters is better. She's not making it good at all.
I said earlier, she has to learn how to cook.
Is this your first time hearing this, or?
She knows it.
He tells me this, but at the same time, why don't he try to help me? Or maybe I can take cooking classes or something, but don't downgrade me, like don't belittle me like I'm just and everyone else's food is so much better than mine. That's hurtful. I'm not good with communication. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I haven't had that open communication in any of my other relationships. But so I may be taking it the wrong way, but at the same time, it's the way. It's not what he says, it's but how he says it.
Okay. And what about recipe books? Maybe following a certain YouTube channel and copying some of their meals. Have you put any of this into practice to try and make your meals, bring your meals up a notch?
I mean, I thought I was doing better, but obviously not when you're sitting here complimenting everyone else instead of actually helping me or, be like, look, babe, can we just try it this way this time instead of just sitting there, oh, your food is nasty. Everyone else is better than yours. That's like belittling me. I know maybe sometimes my food isn't as good as his mother's
Hmm.
or his coworker, but don't just belittle me every time.
Well, I agree. I would actually suggest that you find more constructive words instead of saying it's nasty. Maybe too much salt, could use a little more oregano, things of that nature. And that way she has more of a detail as to how to make the food for you to your liking, to your taste buds. Because just because something doesn't satisfy you, it doesn't mean it's bad necessarily. So if you're just calling it nasty and criticizing the cooking, this could make her feel belittled, meaning that when she's preparing this food for you, she's nervous now, she's not thinking straight, she's probably not going to put the right amounts in it, and it's probably not going to turn out well, just as most people are. You want to encourage her and uplift. Does that make any sense? Now,
Yes, it does.
I can imagine that be difficult with all of the arguing you guys have had. And that's why I asked you about the way she speaks with you. Is she rude? Is she boisterous? Because I have several people that I counsel, and I often tell men and their wives that a man would not be softer than his wife. So typically a man, when he speaks to you, he's going to use a filter because he believes that you're fragile, right? That you're softer and that he may hurt your feelings with what he says. But if you don't speak to him back in that same way, he may lose his filter altogether and be more direct with you. And this could be why he's saying the food is nasty instead of, stomaching it and telling you that it's good anyway. Do you feel like you're very straightforward with him when you could, have a filter with him?
Well, I do feel like I am straightforward with him. Anything that we go through, I tell him how I feel about it.
Hmm.
But as far as with the cooking, he doesn't even try it before he puts ketchup or hot sauce. He's adding condiments to it before he even gives it a chance, even taste it. So
Said,
yeah, it's automatically nasty because he's not even tasting it beforehand.
hmm. We're definitely going to deal with the food. We're going to help you, okay? I have some friends, some very good chef friends who are going to be sending you some recipes and helping you through that so we can get you to making food that suits him, okay? But we got to talk about the more pressing issue, okay? And that is this online thing. Now, he's telling me you've been going public with stories of your family, from your son to his mom. So imagine now, his mother and you guys' son. You're talking about him online, and when he talks to you about that, you sort of say the same thing he says to you about the cooking. I'm just being honest. I'm just shooting it straight. I tell my people the truth, and what that ends up being is your family being dragged through the mud. How do you feel about that? Do you plan on stopping? What's your thoughts? Why do you feel that's okay to do?
Well, with me being raised in a foster care system, basically, I never had open communication or a line of communication or felt any love from anyone or knew how to communicate with anyone. So I get that through my podcast, through my own line. I feel like I'm getting my viewers, I'm getting that open communication, that love from them, something I'm missing in my own home. And all you do are you're criticizing me instead of telling me how you actually feel and having that open line of communication. So that's what I'm getting from my own line.
Now, when he told me that you were, of course, grew up in a foster home, I asked you about it. You said that it's pretty much a large foster home. You had a large foster home family. That could be why you find solace in your online following, right? All those people there, kind of validating you, probably telling you what you like to hear on a daily. Where with your husband, you're not getting that, right? But on the flip side, your husband feels very disappointed in you. Your son is embarrassed. You've talked about his brain injury. You've talked about his mom. You said that she fakes cataract surgeries to borrow more money from him. You told your online presence that. Now the world is talking about his mother. How old is your mother?
62.
So the lady who baked the cake for you is older than your mother.
Yeah.
And your mother typically makes the cake for you.
Yes.
She asked you in that video, why didn't you get your mother to make the cake? You said, well, Mom and I don't talk much since you bashed her online.
Right.
So she's driven a wedge between the relationship of you and your mom.
Right.
Is that the case?
Yes.
What about between your sisters and your brothers as well?
Right. Everybody gets they part of this podcast shit.
Wow.
So I guess it from every angle I'm hearing about it.
Do you not see the damage you're doing to your family? Do you not see the look on your son's face, his mom's face, his siblings' face?
I mean, as I was saying, I was raised in a foster care system, so I've never had that love, so I don't really know what love is or how to show it. So I feel like I'm just telling the truth. I'm just being honest. I mean, I'm just letting people know what's really going on. It's just lively things.
So the thing I would think is like the consequences of what you're doing, right? If the world now knows about your son's 2 felonies and misdemeanors and things like that, you can see why you being honest with your crowd is having a negative impact on your son's life, right? Now everybody knows about these felonies, they know about these misdemeanors, and that's not something, you don't want your legal issues public to the world, right? For people to just judge you, and that's what's happening. So whatever you're getting from your online public, it's helping you to destroy your actual home. And I don't know if you thought that through, that they may be loving you. It may seem like it's working in life. You may be becoming more successful, but your home family dynamic is actually deteriorating. Have you considered that? And is it worth it to you to maybe keep your family's name off of your podcast?
Well, now that you say it like that, I feel like, yeah, it can be hurtful, but it's just something we need to work on as a family, as a whole. We need to be able to open up that line of communication. Maybe we do need to go to counseling and, talk to someone. And we just really need to communicate more and tell each other how we feel more. Instead of criticizing in a negative way.
I could see that actually, believe it or not. As terroristic as her actions have been, it seems that she is seeking validation through her online presence. And that's a scary place to be because those people will validate dang near anything and pipe you to hell. I think if you were to pay more attention to her, give her more constructive criticism, build her up more, maybe her need for this online presence would cease. Have you tried that?
So in the beginning of our relationship, we was communicating a lot. It's just when you got to this podcast that you started, like you said, it started to deteriorate. So what happened in between that time?
I mean, don't you understand that there's a reason behind everything. So obviously, it wasn't just me. You knew my situation before coming into this marriage. You knew I was raised in a foster care and I wasn't good with communication. So this is something you already knew. So maybe you should have thought about that before. We both should have thought about it. But we're already in it now. So it's like the line of communication. We know what's hurting us. Why we can't move forward, move past that and talk about stuff. Why should I have to run to someone else? Or why should I have to run online? It's like a guy would say, oh, I went to the next woman because you weren't doing what you were supposed to do at home. Okay, well, I went online because you're not doing what you're supposed to do.
Okay, so communication. So why would you not talk to me first about putting my family business on your podcast?
A good question.
Don't you think if I could talk to you, I would have talked to you first? You're not the easiest person to talk to.
Let's imagine you could talk to him. Could you imagine you go to him and say, I'm going to talk about our son online. I'm going to talk about his felonies, his misdemeanors. I'm going to talk about your head injury, your mother and her fake cataract surgeries that she manipulates money out of you with. I think you would know his answer would be, no, you're not talking about my family, right? So what I see more is the bigger problem is that you're a bit impulsive. Okay, so when you're hurt, you act hurt. When you're angry, you act angry. You ever hear the adage, be angry yet sin not? This means that you can be overwhelmed with emotions, but at the same time, you calming yourself and working through that is the best way to go. But if you act out, you're liable to do things that ruin your life. Does that make any sense?
Yes, it is.
So when you go online, that's an impulsive thing because you're seeking a feeling, right? You want those people to like you and be moved by your message or your show, right? But what's happening is you're not putting thought into it because it's ruining your family's life, right? Now, another thing that is very impulsive, okay? And this isn't a beat up on you session. I want you to actually look at it from the standpoint of what's being caused to the family, okay? His mother, when she needs money from him, you prefer her to go through you. And every time she asks her son, her flesh and blood, for something, he's saying that you're in the middle of that. And you believe that she should come to you first and you should approve of it before she can ask her own son for money. When he tells you that you're jealous, you say, I'm possessive, right? I want you to consider that regardless of what you call the word, when you are being controlling to that degree, it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling for the home. It becomes terroristic at that point. Can you explain why you feel so strongly about his mother asking him for money? Because I know you don't like other women baking him cakes, even if they're older than his mother. You don't want him dealing with other women. I get that. And that's probably due to him not, empowering you in the ways you'd like. But what's the deal with his mom? I mean, it's his mom.
Because I don't care if it's your mother, your sister. At the same time, I feel like we should have open communication even about our finances. If it's supposed to be our finances, you should be able to talk to me, or you should come and talk to me, letting me know that, oh, I'm about to help my mom or she needs this, but you don't. You just do it. How would you feel if I just go and buy this brand new purse I just seen? You wouldn't like that. But we're supposed to be discussing things as a whole.
Right. So you cannot compare go buy a Birkin to giving my mother $100.
But she
It's
faced
two different things. That's not their business. It's not your business.
And that's the thing. Even if she is deceitful, that's not the world's business. So even if you guys have this issue where his mother may tell him things that are untrue, you're telling the internet this stuff. And now the world knows about his mom when that should be a personal in-house issue. So maybe you feel like he doesn't have the ability to say no to his mother when you feel like she's conning him. Has it put a damage on y'all's finances? Have you struggled in any way because you've been helping your mother?
No, we haven't. No.
So now
It's not a constant thing. She's I need this, I need it. When she needs help, I can help her.
All right.
I'm able to help her. I could afford to help her.
right.
that's
I get
not
it.
often.
But if he's not bringing financial distress on the family, it's probably something that you're just focused on, and you don't need to be. It is his mother. Now, I'd say this. You guys have thrown this word trust around quite a few times. The word I'd like to introduce to you is good faith, right? So when he brings the cake home and you feel like I can't just go up to him and talk to him about this cake, it's going to be an argument. Try and have some good faith. Regardless of what you think that he'll do or say, talk to him anyway. When you said, how am I supposed to talk to you before I go online? You're hard to talk to. Regardless of how you think he'll respond, talk to him anyway. That's good faith. That's saying I'm going to believe in this person to react a certain way, and I owe it to this person to have these conversations, even if you have, the arguments around the conversations. Does that make any sense? Good, good, good. Okay. Now, Dre said something before he ended that video. He said that if this situation doesn't correct, that he's considering ending the whole marriage. I could tell by that video that hurt you deep. Is that something that you fear, or are you willing to change so you can keep your relationship? When he says those things to you, do you feel like that's a threat, or how do you take that?
Well, this is my family. I've never had a real family of my own. So, yeah, that hurts when he says things like that, especially over little things that we can fix. Like, try fixing it first before going that far.
Okay. Little things. Are you referring to the things he's bringing to you about his family that's happening on the podcast, or some other nuanced things? I know you guys have a few arguments you guys have. One in which where you always bring up the chicken Alfredo situation, and that's probably because it hurt, right? But are they small things, or are you just saying they're small to
Well,
invalidate them?
probably to him it's probably big, but the things that I see as would be small, he probably see as hurtful and big. Like I see the things he say are hurtful, but he doesn't see it like I see it. So we don't see things the same way. So that's why that open line of communication help.
Do you want your marriage?
I really do.
What about you, Dre?
I'm willing to work on it.
Okay. So here's what I'll say. It is clear that your background, maybe how you grew up, is having an impact on how you go online, right? You're seeking validation. It's likely due to how you grew up. The things you're saying about your family is likely due to you not understanding family dynamics and how important reputation and image is to your whole family line. So I want to counsel you. I want to enlighten you on the importance of family, how important reputation and image is to your family's lineage and legacy. And hopefully we can restore your family to where it was before the podcasting started. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I'm willing to work on it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It sounds good. As long as he's willing to work.
Okay.
As well.
Okay. Well, I have a very good book. It's called The Emotional Terrorizer. Okay. This book, it actually breaks down a lot of the issues that you guys are having. You'll love it. I believe it will show you how to not react impulsively and react to any emotion, because it's in our emotion that we cause the most damage. And I believe you'll like it because it shows you how to work through with a partner who struggles with being very emotionally driven. Trust me, it'll be a very, very good read for you guys. Is there anything you'd like to say to Keisha before we end this show?
Like I said, I love you. I really want to continue on our years of our marriage and just respect my family, if you could do that.
Keisha, is there anything you'd like to say to Dre before we end?
Can you actually think about what you're gonna say before you say it? Or try my food before you actually criticize it?
Can you do that, Dre? No ketchup, no hot sauce. Keep it on the side.
Yes.
Now, good faith, remember?
Yeah, good faith.
So her good faith towards you is to have that conversation with you, even if she feels like you're not going to say the right things. Your good faith with her is to try that food, man. Try that food.
All right, before you get completely done with it, let me look at it before you serve it. That's it.
No, Dre, you got to have some good faith, man. You got to eat the food. And listen, you got to keep in mind this. She's going to be taking some cooking classes. So she's going to be getting her game up. And she's going to need your support, right? So let's get excited to try the new dishes that's going to be coming from Keisha, and be prepared to tell her how amazing it was, just like you told her sister. Because here's what I'm thinking. Your mother used to cook for you, right? She's not cooking as much. You guys have a wedge between you now. Your sister had the best chicken Alfredo in the world. That could be why she's going online and saying those things. Maybe she's not thinking about you at all. Maybe she has a little bit of resentment for them, and she's just saying, now your son is a totally different story. That could have been, let me just ask her, when you said these things about his mother, did you have any disdain in your mind for her at all, or did it just slip like the typical things that you're saying about your family for the entertainment value?
Mainly it was just for the entertainment. Like, I'm validated by my online followers. So, I mean, they are open with me more and they tell me how they feel openly. So that's what I go online for. It was just entertainment. That's how I make my money.
Well, that's actually good that you weren't, retaliating against her. So I asked you in that way. I want you to feel comfortable in answering it, and that's the best answer you could have given. That it's just all for entertainment. That's good. That's good. I would hope that you weren't, intentionally talking about his mother and sister and things of that nature. So that's good. That's good. Well, listen, guys, we are going to get you guys some help, of course, counseling for her, for you, Keisha. The recipes, you'd like to have this stuff, right?
Yes, I would.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, until next time, family. Y'all good?
Yeah.
Y'all ready to work through this and get back to some harmony?
Yes.
And intervention with your family. Dre and I talked about it. You need to sit down with your family and hear it from their mouths on the pain that you've caused them. And don't go to yelling. Don't go to bringing up the chicken Alfredo. Listen to your family, okay? And respond to your family, because you married him, makes that your family. So you have a family now. You have a family now. Isn't that good?
It feels good.
And that's a responsibility with that. And your responsibility is to do your part in holding that family together. So talking about them online is counterproductive to holding that family together, right? Good. All right, so listen, guys, this was a great segment. Hopefully we've learned that regardless of how entertaining we can be, regardless of the crowd that we can garner, our families are what's most important to us, and some of the things that we say probably shouldn't be said. Until next time, family, see you.